game.
All right, Matt Steinmetz, Al the Guru Johnson with you, and let's head to Philadelphia. He's Howard Eskin. He's embedded with the Eagles. He's the king of sports media in Philadelphia. And I'll tell you what, Howard, the Bay Area is excited because they believe the balance of power has just shifted with Javon Hargrave to the 49ers. How you feel? Sense of loss in Philly right now?
Well, hold it. You guys have a quarterback?
Oh, Brock Purdy.
Quarterback.
Oh, Brock Purdy.
Well, is he going to start the season after his surgery?
I think so.
And you know what? The second year is always the toughest one. Brock Purdy. Hey, listen, that was nice. He wasn't asked to do too much. The defense really did win football games for the 49ers. And I think John Lynch is a terrific general manager, a brilliant guy. But you still don't have a quarterback. I mean, Trey Lance is going to start the season at quarterback. And what has he done? You need a quarterback to win. And I'm not sure. And I think the 49ers, looking at it now, and it's still early because the teams haven't been put together. I don't know. The Eagles, I'm looking at the NFC. Who has a better quarterback than the Eagles? And, I think Jalen Hurts still has improvement. But who has a better quarterback than the Eagles in the NFC? And you win with a quarterback. Don't give me Trey Lance or Brock Purdy. Please spare me, will you? You guys are out of control. I'm walking in the rain. I should be the one that's a little confused right now. But literally walking in the rain. I walk every day. But it's good for your health. You guys ought to learn that. And it can help your mind a little bit. It could help your mind a little bit, too. So with that being the case, I don't think the balance of power has shifted, but I think the 49ers are a factor in the NFC. That part I would agree with.
Howard, I love you, but you sound like a guy that's team won the Super Bowl, and if I can remind you, you lost. But with that said,
lost by 3 points.
Hey, it don't matter, Howard. You lost by a point. Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But you got to get that to me. Point me. Listen, we're out here saying Bosa's great, but he needs help. And the first day of free agency, Lynch gets this done. How good is Hargrave, though? I know he had 11 sacks, but now Bosa's got some help. Tell us how good he is.
Well, he's a very good player, and basically he's only guaranteed for, I guess, about 2 years, which I assume is all right. I don't like those 4-year contracts for a guy like that. He had a really good year this year. The season before, maybe because he knew he was playing for a contract this year, but he's a very good player, very good D tackle. And he will be a factor for the 49ers this year. The Eagles just didn't want to pay him that kind of money, especially since he's 30 years old. And that's kind of a key number for NFL people when they sign players to long term. But 4 years is not crazy. It's probably basically with only $40 million guaranteed. It's basically a 2-year contract, but he is very good. He will help the 49ers defense, and they really will need help because your coach, Kyle Shanahan, I think he's a very good coach, but on game day, man, he's not even in the top 8 for me. He just finds ways to not get it done on game day. So you still need points to score. Your defense is going to help, but you still need points to score. And Hargrave will help on defense, and the 49ers will have a very good defense. But, the other side of the football, I would be worried about if I were you guys. But you guys don't seem to worry about anything because I don't know if your brains are fried being out there or not. I don't know what the hell the deal is.
Hey, what aren't you crazy about with Shanahan on game day?
Well, see, I go back to where he cost Matt Ryan his only Super Bowl. This guy was an idiot in that game, in that Super Bowl game. See, the Patriots, they give Tom Brady all this credit for winning all those Super Bowls. Well, he didn't win 2 of them. The one against Seattle, because Pete Carroll let his offensive coordinator go brain dead. And the one against Atlanta, they're on the 21-yard line. I guess about 8 minutes left. All you do is run the football, kick the field goal, go up by 11 with not much time left. And that field goal kicker had not missed a kick inside 40 all season. That's all you do. But he had to get cute. He gets cute. Remember, he didn't win the game against Kansas City. Was that him? No, that was just the 49ers, so that wasn't him. But I just see on game day, I just don't think he gets it done. And I know he's a pretty sharp offensive guy. I don't know what he does on game. And what was he trying? That play, I know he didn't have a quarterback at the end of the Eagles game. What the hell was he trying on 4th and 3? What, did he just give up? You just let the running back throw the ball. It was a joke. That was a joke. He just flat out gave up. I just don't like him as a coach on game day. And I think he did a really good job during the season. But game day, I watched it, and I'm saying, what the hell is he doing? What is he doing? And I'm just not. And I guess I have a bad feeling on what he did to Matt Ryan, costing him his only Super Bowl back when Atlanta should have beaten the Patriots. I still can't get over that. I still can't get over that. So that's my problem with Shanahan.
Howard, let me ask you this, man, because I know Jalen Hurts took the league by storm. You guys played in the Super Bowl, but I hear Philly fans are different, so help me out. I'm watching the game, and his one blunder went for 6-7 points. It was huge, and I'm not blaming the game on him, but do Philly fans say, hey, you had a nice year, but you ruined it for us on the biggest stage?
Well, that was just one of the mistakes. See, the mistake that really hurt was the mistake before. There was a false start. So 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6. And if it's 3rd and 1, they're going for it on 4th down if they don't make it on 3rd, and they're going to make a first down, and that never happens. But he fumbled the football. That was one mistake. The bad punt. Then the punt return. Then Darius Slay just loses sight of the wide receiver going in motion when he goes back in motion, and he loses sight of him, and he's wide open for a touchdown. So you can talk about a lot of plays that happened in that game, and it wasn't just the one fumble, but it does make a difference. If you're up by 17 after the first half rather than 10, but the fans realized it wasn't just Jalen Hurts. There was a lot of other things, but you can't fumble the football there. It just can't happen. And that was just one of the mistakes. And you can't make mistakes in a Super Bowl, and you can't make mistakes against the best coach in the NFL and the best quarterback in the NFL. And people that say Bill Belichick is the best coach are clueless. And they're clueless that they're clueless, because Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL, the best. So you can't make those mistakes against him or Patrick Mahomes.
It's Howard Eskin on 95.7 The Game. He joins from Philadelphia. Let me throw this one at you, because we have an interesting situation out here in the Bay. Andrew Wiggins.
Can you throw as good as the quarterbacks you don't have with the 49ers right now, since you're throwing it at me?
See, this is right. Hey, Howard, I'm from Reading. I'm from Reading, so I'm used to this, but people,
you're kind of clueless being from there.
Wow.
You're talking about the Reading Phillies, baby.
I know. Double-A.
Exactly.
Double-A Reading Phillies.
All right, here you go.
The hometown of Taylor Swift.
That's right. Why missing? Before she went to Nashville.
So I'm good.
Hey, let me ask you this about so Andrew Wiggins out here has missed 11 games because of personal reasons / family matters. He missed the last game before the All-Star break. And the Warriors have said, we're going to respect his privacy. We know nothing about it other than it's a personal / family matter. It's now been going on for almost a month. If this were Philadelphia and your second or third best player weren't playing, but nobody knew why, would there be reporters trying to find out why? Would the fans be getting anxious about, come on, we deserve something? What do you think it'd be like in Philly if a guy missed 11 games but nobody really knew why?
Well, obviously I'm assuming it must be a serious matter, but he didn't give people any. It's not like Ben Simmons, who gave people reasons to complain all the time, who I said from the day they drafted him it was a mistake. But that's in the past, and it's gone, and it's over with. But if he didn't do anything to alienate the fans before, I think you kind of respect it. You want to know. I mean, the Phillies were in a similar, well, not even that situation. They had a pitcher who's 19 years old, who for a week they didn't tell you what the injury was, and I knew it was a torn. You could tell by them not saying anything. It was a torn UCL in his elbow, and the fact that his agent is Scott Boras tells you all you need to know, because he's horrible for baseball. He really hurts baseball the way he dictates and rules things. But that was wrong, because we knew he had an elbow injury. They told us that. Oh, we don't have the medical reports yet. It takes 30 minutes to read an MRI. But in this case, if it's a personal issue, then I think it's a little bit different. And he's not using mental health as people use that as a crutch, and they say mental health or whatever, and players do that all the time. But I would respect, the Philadelphia fans would understand, and the team apparently knows, but they don't want to say out of respect. So you think the Philadelphia fans, they can be angry people and ruthless people and go off on people. With something like that, I think they do have a heart, even though it might be a small heart, but they do have a heart. So you're the West Coast, so you're on the other side of the world. It's just people out there they just go by the day and just everything's great and you move on. And it's different here, but these fans would understand.
Wow. Howard, I got to sneak in a hoop question, because me and my buddy are Hatfield and McCoy's on Jokic MVP, and I'm looking at Embiid 33, 10, and 4. I'm looking at Philly. Don't like Doc Rivers, but I mean, can you make a case for
Glenn Rivers? In my book, there's only one Doc in Philadelphia, and that's Julius Erving. So,
wow, don't tell my partner that. He's a big Larry Bird guy. But Joel Embiid.
I love Larry Bird. Oh, I love Larry Bird. One of the 4 best players all time in the NBA, above LeFraud James. Above LeFraud James.
Wow. Why you call him LeFraud?
He names himself the king. You can't give yourself a nickname, otherwise you're a fraud. He always interjects himself in issues. He's so insecure. It's always got to be about him. He is overrated.
Howard, they were broadcasting.
But he's
that's all. Hey, listen, Howard, I love you to death. They were broadcasting his high school games. He could have got in trouble off the court. He never did, and he passed the captain with the most points, and he's not a ball hog. Salute the king, man.
Okay. Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, all above LeFraud James as the all-time.
There's no shame in that, though. There's no shame if you got all those guys ahead. But with that said, tell me about Embiid and Philly's chances.
Okay, I don't think they're a championship team. I think they're a good team. They don't have a leader. Embiid is not a leader. They don't have a leader. The Celtics play the Sixers the best because they let Embiid just say, go ahead and score. We're shutting down everybody else, and the Celtics always win. So I look at it that way. Embiid he's a really good player, so don't take this the wrong way. But he's about himself. Since he can't win the MVP, and he won't win the MVP because Jokic is the MVP. Let's get that straight. He is the MVP. He thinks he's going to win the scoring title. So he cares about his points, and he's just not a leader. He's about himself. As good a player as he is, he's about himself. So they're a good team. They're not a championship. They are just not a championship team. Already in the conference, Boston and Milwaukee are better teams, and there might be somebody else that might sneak up. I don't know if the Knicks could beat them in the playoffs. The Knicks are playing their ass off right now. So the reality is, Embiid's a really good player, but the Sixers are not a championship team. They will be, with this core, always close, but not close enough. And if they lose in the second round again, that's like 10 or 11 years they haven't gotten past the second round. Well, we know that Glenn Rivers is going to be gone. But let me just throw this in the mix. Their president, general manager, Daryl Morey, is one of the all-time frauds in the NBA. Never won anything. Getting $12 million a year, he ought to be taken out in handcuffs for stealing money. It is a joke. He traded for James Harden because he has a love affair with James Harden with the Ben Simmons trade. Gave up 2 first-round picks. He could have gotten Halliburton and Buddy Hield only given up one first-round pick. You could have used one of those picks because they can't trade a pick until 2029. He screwed everything up so badly. You could have used that to trade Tobias Harris, who is a nothing on that team right now. And he is the fraud. He is really the fraud. And he just cons everybody how smart he is. I mean, I don't think he looks at players. I think he looks at his computer and decides, but that trade for Harden, Harden can give me all those numbers, but Harden's not a championship player. He's just not a championship player. So, and that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's going to continue to be.
Hey, we're getting some reports that Rodgers is going to go to the Jets. Any thoughts? Aaron Rodgers to the Jets?
I've heard conflicts. He's got to go somewhere. He's got to get out of it. I mean, it's over. It's over. Yeah. I don't know that it makes the Jets a champion, but they'll be the most interesting team in New York, which will piss off the Giants. As long as the Giants have Daniel Jones, they ain't going anywhere.
I couldn't believe
And when
that.
they lose Mike Kafka, their offensive coordinator, who really helped Daniel Jones, he's going to be a head coach. He didn't get it this year, but he's going to get it probably next year. Once he leaves, then Daniel Jones becomes just Daniel Jones. And they ain't going. And I hope they sign Saquon Barkley to a 15-year contract because when you sign running backs to their second contract, it's just a total mistake. So it's just. But I think he'll create a buzz in New York. Now I've heard both ways that it's not done yet, but it looks like something where there's smoke, there's fire, and it'd be kind of nice to see him somewhere else. He's kind of crazy, but he is a hell of a quarterback. He is a hell of a quarterback.
Well, he's a guy from Northern California, Howard. What do you expect?
Okay. Northern California. Is the air out there okay? Is the oxygen okay for you guys?
Oh, it's
You're breathing bad air with some of the things you say.
Howard, I moved out here 30 years ago. I don't think I'm coming back to Reading/Philly.
Well, I can understand. I would take San Francisco over Reading, too. And I love the people at Reading, but come on now. It is Reading. Reading is, you know what Reading's known for? Pretzels. And they have the greatest pretzel manufacturers. I mean, Unique Pretzels is in Reading.
There you go.
Snyder.
Never heard
Snyder's in Reading. You never heard of them?
Goods potato chips, too.
Unique Pretzel. They're the best. And Snyder, I think, is out in Reading, too.
That's correct.
The pretzel capital of the world.
Hey, Howard, thanks, man. Really appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again.
Hey, you guys, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself stumbling over what you have to say all the time.
Thanks, Howard. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right.